Hi everyone, my name is Latifer. This is Fight and Fire. I am a Christian life coach and a content creator. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about prioritizing the presence of God over serving. Now, this topic is coming from Luke 10:38 to 42. This is Mary and Martha's story. We know the story very well. Two sisters. Martha is one of the sisters. She invites Jesus into her home and she is serving. As a matter of fact, it says she's distracted with much serving, while Mary, who is the other servant, the other sister, left Martha to go sit at Jesus' feet and listen to his word. Now, this story is not a good girl, bad girl story. But is very much a necessary story to hear to remind us that we need to set our priorities, have our priorities in the correct order. When we talk about priorities, we're talking about we're asking ourselves what is the most important thing to do, to focus on for the day, for our life. A lot of the times we're not paying attention to what our priorities are. We think that we know what our priorities are, but we do not. So a good way to know what your priorities are is to look at what you're doing. What do you spend most of your time doing? Do you spend your time serving more than you do spend time with God? Then that will tell you what your priorities are. It may not be what you want your priorities to be, but it is what it is. That's what it is at the moment. And when you are clear and you have that awareness, then you can go about working on organizing your priorities as they should be. So as we see in the story of Mary and Martha, is that Martha becomes frustrated actually by the fact that Mary is not helping her, and so she goes to Jesus and she confronts him, asking him, "Do you not care that my sister has left me to serve alone?" And let's see. She said, "Do you not care?" Sorry, it's Luke 10 verse 38 to 42, right? And she asked Jesus, "Do you not care that my sister have left me alone to serve?" Right? Tell her to come help me. And so Jesus, in response to that, he says that, "Martha, Martha, you are troubled and you're worried and troubled about many things. But Mary has chosen what is needed. She has chosen the good part." And so from Martha's perspective, the issue is that Mary has left her alone, that she is serving alone. But from God's perspective, he acknowledges that she is worried about many things. So there's more going on in Martha's heart than Martha is acknowledging or stating. And so from that situation, we can see that in spending time, just from that little conversation that she has with Jesus, he's already looking past what she's saying into her heart to see the many things that she's worried about. And so when we prioritize our time with God, he looks beyond the surface and he's able to bring it to our attention to help us clean it up, right? Serving is a good thing. Jesus said, "I did not come to be served, but to serve." And he says the greatest in heaven is the one who serves. This is in Matthew 26 to 28. And so serving is a good thing. However, serving can become a distraction. So serving is a distraction when we prioritize it over spending time with God, because the relationship that he desires, that he requires, is a close relationship where we are abiding in him and he is abiding in us, because he said in John 15, "Apart from me, you can do nothing." And so going about serving without the Lord, without spending time with him, it does not bear good fruit, because after a while we become tired, frustrated, overwhelmed, and worried and troubled about many things. We're more focused on all the things that are going wrong than the things that than turning to the Lord and trusting and believing in what he can do, because he desires to partner with us and work with us through the situation. It is not always that God seeks to make the situation easy or that he's quick to solve the situation, but he's working through us to make the impossible happen. As we see, for example, in the story of Moses, right? God calls Moses to save the Israelites, what am I trying to say? To take them out of Egypt. But he's not quick about it. Actually, he first addresses Pharaoh, and then he sends 10 plagues, right? So instead of him immediately taking them out of Egypt, he addresses the nation who has held them in captivity. And sometimes there's an outer work and there's an inner work, right? That is being done in the heart of a person, as well as what we are seeing around us. So Mary sees that Martha sees that Mary's not helping her, and God sees that Martha is worried and troubled about many things. And so when we are in his presence, he is able to help. He is able actually to do the inner work in us so that we can go and serve well, bearing much fruit. So the next part of this that I want to point out is the fact that Jesus says that the choice that she made a choice, and it is what is needed, right? So knowing what is important, going back to prioritizing, knowing what is needed. Serving is needed, but it's not more important than spending time with God, as we've stated before. And so I want to encourage you to know to prioritize your time with God. You might feel like there's pressure to, I have to go, 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 go. Sometimes we jump out of bed and right into our schedule, right into the day, whatever it is that we have to do. You know, the first thing we start going after the first thing on our task list, but we have to prioritize our time with Jesus, because honestly, it is about who you know God to be. If you know God to be your partner, if you know God to be your leader, if you know God to be the one who encourages you, who empowers you, who would lead you in the way that you should go, the way, the truth, and the life, when everyone leaves, he is the one who always stays. There's a part in, I think it's John 16, where Jesus is talking to the disciples, and it is around the time where the soldiers would soon come and take him to be crucified. And Jesus says to the disciples, you will leave me, you will scatter. However, I am not alone because my Father is with me. So because of the relationship that Jesus has with the Father, right? He knows that he is not alone when everyone leaves. And so when you have that relationship with Jesus, you will know that you are not alone when everyone leaves, when everyone has forsaken you. But you must prioritize, because his words will be abiding you. His spirit abides in you, giving you the strength and the power to do the work that he himself has called you to do. No one else called you to do that work. No one else can give you the breath, nor the strength, nor the wisdom, nor the hope and the faith to keep going. And so we just need to prioritize our time with him, to see that our relationship with him is the most important. Because the truth of the matter is, we are not an unending well of love, of grace, of energy. At some point we will get tired, we get burnt out, and then the frustration and a myriad of other emotions come into play, and we're not able to serve well. We will serve not from a cheerful heart, but a bitter heart, one that is, feels like no one cares. And sometimes that's just the case. No one cares. No one sees the sacrifices that you're making. No one knows the amount of effort, time, funds, money that you're putting in to making sure that this ministry is running well. Everyone just shows up, they take, and then they leave. But from a relationship with God, you know that He cares and He sees, and He is the rewarder of those who work diligently in His name for His glory, right? There's a verse in Hebrews chapter 10. Actually, it's Hebrews chapter 6, verse 10. And I'm going to read it with you or for you. Since we're not together, I'm getting there. Hebrews. The verse says, "For God is not unjust to forget your work and labor of love, which you have shown toward His name, in that you have ministered to the saints and do minister. And we desire that each of one of you show the same diligence to the assurance of hope until the end, that you do not become sluggish, but imitate those who through faith and patience inherit the promise." So while others may not see, God sees, God knows. He's very much aware of the work that you have done. And so we can't always look to man or other people for validation. We have to look to God and trust and believe that He sees. And in that secret place, in that time that you spend with Him, He renews your strength, right? Isaiah 40, He will strengthen you. We may get weary and tired and we want to quit, but trust and believe. I know from experience, I've had moments where I was ready to be done. I was ready to give up. I'm like, Lord, I can't do this anymore. This is exhausting to me. And He renewed my strength. The next morning, I got up, ready to go again, ready to keep trying, to keep pressing in. So one of the things that God has called me to do. So earlier this year, actually, my best friend and I, we went on a trip, and she asked me at the end of last year to go with her unexpectedly because she had plans with another friend to go on vacation, for them to go on vacation together. However, that plan fell apart, and so she had called me out of the blue, and she said she was booking a cruise and she wanted to know if I could come. And I told her I needed a second to think about it. And the beautiful thing was that it was already paid for, so I didn't have to really pay for the ticket itself. So she's like, what is there to think about? And I get that, but she didn't say that, but I already know. Anybody would wonder the same thing, right? What is there to think about? I'm paying for the ticket for you. But honestly, at the time, finances were not looking so good and my life was in chaos. I didn't know whether I was coming or going. And so I wasn't entirely excited about focusing or doing something else. I really wanted to just figure out my situation. But at the same time, when I thought about it, I felt like, God, you're up to something. Like there's something suspicious about this situation, that this plan fell through. And now, it ends up that I'm being asked to go with her. Not that I mind too much, but again, when my life is in chaos, I can't really think about doing other things. So I prayed about it and I felt like the Lord was telling me to go on the vacation. But even after that, I was still not in the best mood. And, to have a friend who's not 100% excited about going on a vacation with you can be a bit disheartening. So I get that she was kind of discouraged by my mood. But anyways, so we went on a trip. We had a great time and things like that. And it turns out, she was going through some things and she needed someone to talk to, and I was able to listen and to pray with her, and for us to have a good time together, and to give some spiritual guidance as well. And so going into the trip, I was getting that understanding that the Lord didn't just, this is not just about, you know, us going on a trip just to have fun, but the Lord was doing something. He was sending me to minister, to serve a friend. And so ministry, serving others, is not just in church, it is our whole life. It is in our friendships, it is at home with our family, it is on the job sometimes, it is at school. And so the Lord may call us to minister to someone by encouraging them, speaking a word over their life, declaring the truth of the Lord, praying for them, praying with them. Sometimes people call you at random, sometimes inconvenient times to pray with them. And, the Lord is the one who empowers and encourages us to do it, because sometimes we're not excited about doing it. Our mind is elsewhere. We're focused on ourselves. But God is the one who empowers and encourages. He says, do not worry about these things, for your Father knows what you need, but seek first the kingdom of God. And so don't be discouraged or allow, serving, because sometimes, like, if the situation is not perfect, people are not there to help, resources are not there, you have a Father who is closer than a brother, right? He says, abide in me and I'll abide in you. A Father who dwells in you, who is with you, who will help you, strengthen you, empower you, all the things that you need, He will give to you. But do not stay away from Him. Do not keep pressing on and pushing on to serve on your own. Because sometimes when we do that, we will rely on coping mechanisms that are not always helpful for us to get through, right? We might pick up a bad habit of smoking, drinking, watching TV, daydreaming. How can daydreaming be? Trust me, the things that you start thinking about when you daydream, right? So instead of meditating on God and the goodness of God, we start thinking about all these other things as a way to escape our situation. So prioritize His presence, spending time with Him over serving. Serving becomes a distraction when we are not spending time with the Lord. So I want to keep encouraging. I hope you've been encouraged and edified to spend time with the Lord. My name is Latifer. I'm a Christian life coach and a content creator. I am here to pray with you and for you and to keep ministering to you so that we can keep growing in Christ.